We're joined by Sean. How are you doing, Sean?
Really good, thank you, Porky. Good day for me. No
Right.
more treatment for a while, so happy as Larry.
How long is that? How long has that took you to complete that treatment?
Quite a long time, mate, but I had my last 5 sessions in the last 5 days. So, yeah, hopefully that's me done and dusted. But we're not here to talk about one fat man whining about his health, are we, mate? But thank you for asking.
Okay. Before I start, let me just explain the word gimmick because I've just had that. Obviously, I get a lot of violent emails and abuse that you could never. Some of it I couldn't even put on here. So let me just explain the word gimmick. To me, what a gimmick is a fat man getting in the ring, headlining shows, telling us he's fit as a butcher's dog, but he's not, and then laughing and joking and having a KFC and a big Sunday dinner. Then an hour later, saying, "Oh, I'm taking it serious," this and that, up and down, up and down, up and down. That to me is a gimmick. Mr. Sob Story, Mr. Humble, Mr. Fairy Story. That's to me a gimmick, somebody that ain't won a belt and they're headlining shows, and you've got kids fit as butchers' dogs who can't get on a show. That to me is a gimmick. Promoters taking advantage of something like that. You see where I'm coming from? A bit like Johnny Bosch's son, Elmer Fudd. Now, you know that video I sent you of Elmer Fudd's dad, Daddy Fudd?
Yeah,
Would you just play that and put it on the screen for me, shot? Because I've got camera issues here. But if you could, mate, I'd be grateful.
I'd be very happy to. Just bear
Right.
with.
This is what we mean about gimmicks.
I'm in Australia, but bad news. I'm flying home tomorrow on my birthday. I've been detained by the Border Force for 4 hours. I'm now in a holding hotel. My visa was legal coming in, but they're not happy with what I'm doing here. So they're sending me home. So sorry, Australia. Sorry, Perth. Sorry, Sydney. I won't be at any of my appearances this weekend, but please go and support the ones that I was going to be at because they're going to be good days. But I will let you know more when I get home. To be truthful, I just want to go home now. All the best. Let's have it. Bosh or no bosh.
There you go. That to me is gimmicks. And his daft son, Big Elmer. I can't spar him. He's my friend. We had lunch together. Gimmicks. But there ain't no problem with that. They should be on Misfits. It's not boxing. Don't tell me you're training, you've had camp of your life and all that, and your trainer running around saying you're going to win world titles and you're averaging 10 punches around. I don't want to see it. That to me is gimmick. It might not be to everybody else, but to hardcore boxing fans, we want to see somebody getting in that ring and putting in a bit of effort instead of the same old pony excuses. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not at that level, but I did my best and all that. It's knackers for the sake of chatting knackers. What do you think about the word gimmick, Sean?
Well, I think you've summed it up. I think you've summed it up very well there. And in terms of Elmer's dad, maybe he'll be on Misfats next. Who knows? But yeah, it is. It is. It's a gimmick. The person in question there we're talking about, it is a gimmick. It's someone not taking that whatever their activity is properly, and they're getting wheeled out for reasons other than their sporting prowess. And it's just playing. The gimmick in question today is Mr. Humble, isn't it? But Mr. Humble took a tumble and now resembles Mr. Fumble. So, like I say, yeah, it's just all gimmicks, 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 and it's boring, and it's even more sadder that people are buying it.
Well, Johnny Horsecock he said it ain't a gimmick. Paul Smith said it is. So there's obviously a divide. But Horsecock's been playing the game 20 years, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? So
Company man.
he was a gimmick anyway. Well, you remember him, Horsecock? Back in the day, the entertainer. Oh my God, he's the only man I know that's won a world title running backwards.
Oh, did he win it against? Did he nick it against Carl?
Carl took it against Carl Thompson. It was biggest robbery since Brink's Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, remember, he had to go down to his dinner around Europe when he got the world's most boring draw against Carlos de Leon. But yeah, I remember watching that fight against Carl Thompson. I were a teen, I were 14, 15. It was 99, wasn't it? I remember that and thought Carl Thompson had won. I had a big fan of Carl Thompson. He was an absolute warrior, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, well, what can you do? It's one of them things, isn't it? But like I said, getting back to the gentleman. To be fair, he wants to come on a Zoom. I've sent him a link, but I very much doubt that they do. Not many do. When it comes down to it, they lose their arsehole, but it is what it is. So that's my opinion, young man, or whoever you are, on gimmicks. Right, to the proper stuff now. The rumour around the campfire is that it's Big Freeze, the abominable snowman from Derby, who we actually like. His fight with TKV, Jamie TKV, is postponed because he's sustained an injury. The two were set to headline on Adrian Mole's first boxer show on the BBC. Now, the second rumour around the campfire is that he's been given a drink to pull out to make Adrian Mole look stupid. Would you put it past people in boxing doing that just to torpedo a show?
No. I hope I'm wrong, and I have a lot of sympathy because this is Ben's first post Sky soiree, isn't it? And it was shaping up to be a good show. It was getting good coverage. Obviously, going to be on BBC. And I'm very, very sad for Ben if this is the case. But if it is the case that he's been encouraged to pull out and been offered alternative things, then it's a very sad indictment of others in the sport that are doing that and being that malevolent. I would hope even they're not that cruel, but nothing surprises me in the sport of boxing, not when some of the promoters are at hand. But it's just sad. Is it postponed or will they be able to bring in a late
Well,
replacement?
that's what I was just thinking now. We've got 11 days to go. Who could they put in on that if you go down the
Well,
rankings?
I've I've got the box rec. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
only
go
the
on then.
box rec rankings in front of me, and obviously the top 10 aren't going to touch it. You got your Dubois, your Colis and stuff. The first person who looks potentially Sol Dakers is in at 13. Would
Yeah.
he take it? Dave Allen, obviously, he's too big for domestic fry at the moment. If you don't want
What about Big
Johnny
Elmer?
Johnny Fisher's in at 15.
Maybe he's coming
Can
off a
you?
loss though, isn't he? So he won't be allowed
I
to set rules.
do be do they absolutely stick to that rule with
No, they
British
don't. They didn't.
Bulldog?
Dennis didn't with Tommy Frank, so they could get around
Well,
it that way.
yeah.
And then after that,
Then
you've got Nick Webber and all the rest of them, and
yeah.
you want to
I
see.
like if I had to pick for the best name, there's someone called Moses Jolly. That's a cool name, but I've never heard of him, so I don't know about that. Um, but yeah, Adrian King far too young. Obviously, that'd be suicide. Um, Harvey Dykes, Simon Abique, never heard of him. It's pretty small, slim pickings, isn't it?
Mm.
Really, about who could fight for it. Blimey, if I had to pick one, because I like him, I'd go Sol Dakers.
Well, I'd go Moses Jolly for the simple reason he's ranked one above Jamie TKV on BoxRec.
I mean, he's 19, Jamie TKV on BoxRec, isn't he?
Yeah, so if they go
Yeah,
for Moses Jolly, right? But could he? They don't have to make weight. It's heavyweight.
yeah,
See where I'm coming from? So,
yeah. And he's 11 and 0.
hey,
He's 11 and 0. I'm showing my embarrassment. He's Welsh. I've never heard of him. But he, he's fought Amin Busetta, the one that Dave fought and everyone else has and stuff. But yeah, obviously you can't be a British heavyweight pro unless you fought Williams. So he's fought him twice. But yeah, I hope I hope I hope the card gets saved, and I hope that Ben does get to put the card on, and I hope Big Freeze to gets to win the belt because I think regardless of it being a inferior opponent, if you will, I think he'd have won anyway. But yeah, bit gutted to be honest if this is true, which it sounds like it is in terms of sources. So yeah, genuinely gutted on that one.
yeah. No, anything can happen in boxing. I mean, let's have it right. Eddie Hill slipped Darren Barker in to train the Rhino, and I mean, I heard this back in the day when I used to speak to him, and Steffi Bull and people like that was strutting around the gym thinking, what is Barker doing? Oh, he's just hanging around talking to people. He's not training Rhino. And that's why they didn't really work that long together. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
yeah, I do. Well, because most of their stories about how they had it off, they were staying in Champneys or somewhere, basically just having a jolly together. That's not a training camp, is it? They
No,
were
that's
just
why
they were
Darren
talking about
Barker's not a trainer. All he is an Eddie Hearn guy. He's married into Matchroom, any kind of thing.
absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely.
So,
Well, he did one thing that Dave won't. He won a world title. I know he didn't defend it, but
I
yeah,
thought he got beat that night. He got dropped, and they still give him
it was
decision, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. He got a belt bought, didn't he? And then he lost it. He pulled out injured in the first offence, was it? Back early through. But yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. But
Okay. Let me ask you a few questions here then. People are saying that it could be Usyk Fury 3 for Usyk next, and then the two Joshua fights, and Big Malk saying Wilder Joshua next, in like a Rumble in the Jungle type of thing, out in Africa kind of thing. What do you make to them two fights here that the rumours are doing the rounds? Just like Freeze against TKV, obviously, is a rumour, but what do you think to them two as well?
and it's recycling. It's not you. None of this is Usyk's fault because he's beat everyone, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Wilder Joshua fight, I can understand because they both are shots. Why they'd make it so late, so late, so late, so late. But yeah, and the Usyk Fury fight, no matter what his protestations are, he's been comprehensively beaten twice by him. What, what? How would they spin that? Other than if they just start to listen to Tyson doing his little videos about how he got robbed and then get his dad on talking absolute drivel. Oh no, I don't want to see either of those fights. I wouldn't mind watching um, Joshua Wilder just because they're both so shot. I don't know who's going to land first, but Wilder doesn't even pull the trigger anymore. So it's just barrel scraping of big names, isn't it? They're gone. They've left the sport in spirit in spirit. Yeah. Do we really think they could both happen?
Hey?
Do we really think both those fights could happen? They'd both be awful.
Wilder against Joshua should have been made April 17 when they flew Wilder over for Vladimir Joshua. Since then, they've wrapped Joshua in cotton wool for 8.5 years, and it's still no near to be getting made. Who'd be interested in Wilder Joshua now? Because both of them have got chins like chandeliers and they can't pull trigger.
Yeah, and that's 8 years
Eight
and
and a half
3 months.
months.
Yeah, 8.5 years. Long, like, yeah, that's not marinated. That's gone off the boil, hasn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
Eddie's kept it going 8.5 years, been spinning a narrative 8.5 years. Wilder Joshua. It's become very boring.
it has. But he'll try and flog it.
Well,
Used car, fast car
Big
ready.
Malk's just turned around in an interview and said, and I quote, and I've got a lot of time for Eddie Hearn at the moment. He's doing things the right way and he lost his way a bit, but he's back on track. So Big Malk looking for a way back into the circle of trust.
Nauseating, isn't it? He's
Just
just
a little
lickers.
bit,
It's
isn't it?
lickers anonymous. Maybe they should have meetings like Lickers Anonymous and they just go meet about how much they've been licking.
Mm.
It's just pathetic.
Paul Smith's come out this morning on Talksport. He's backtracked on his gimmick comments regarding the Rhino and Elmer Fudd. Has somebody got at Jim Royal, aka Paul Smith, because he were adamant the other day, and now he's well, he's a
Is
mate
he?
of mine, and yeah.
Has he been offered? Is he going to pop up as a DAZN commentator or something next to
I don't know, but
Fran?
he did say, Paul Smith went on to say, he only said it because the commentators on DAZN, and to be fair to him, I agree, were leading him down a certain path regarding Rhino, who he only gave one share of 1 round for 12 rounds. He said they were leading him down a garden path as regards what he were watching, which we said the same thing, didn't we, really?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Well, I would wish people though would I get that we can get things wrong and stuff, but I do wish people in the media, because Paul makes a living now talking about boxing. I wish they'd stick to if they have a principle or if they have a point, I wish they'd have the guts to stick to it and not start have their arse flapping as soon as they get challenged on it. It's a bit for people that have been so courageous in the ring, it's pretty weak, isn't it, when they wobble and prevaricate and go back on the word. It's just again, it's all very licky.
Yeah. Do you think people need to let Ricky Hatton rest in peace now instead of doing these sermons and videos and going on about
Yes,
what's gone
it's
on?
been
Just let him rest now, because do you think it's gone long
it's
enough now?
yeah, it's not sincere anymore. If it
No.
ever was for some of them, like I say, the Terry Stone one, Jesus,
Oh no.
half hour
Well,
mark
they can't
basically
help
does.
themselves from Essex, can they?
No, no, like I say, I've got regional bias, but yeah, there's been some lovely comments. Like I say, I always mock Bean. The eulogy was nice, great. Stop talking about a man. His family are grieving. The only people who should be speaking about him now, privately about the family. They've all had the moment when they got to put the flash jackets on and go, look, I'm in the circle. Go and let that family grieve the passing of a man who's passed far too young and left children and grandchildren. Leave him to rest in peace. It's getting to the point of perverse now when people are still doing their eulogies that are more about them than about Ricky. Lots of people knew Ricky because he's clearly a very kind gentleman with time for everyone. Shut up and let him rest in peace.
Well, he's got a family, and he 3 kids, a brother, mum and dad, and all the rest of in-laws and that. So just let him rest in peace. You're a great fighter, so let him rest in peace. I say I don't want to keep seeing Adam Smith going on and on and on about it because he's just digging himself in bigger holes, in my opinion. If he were that close to Ricky,
Yeah,
I said, well, why weren't Ricky ringing him in that week where he were down, apparently? So there you go. So I look
yeah, absolutely. My words entirely, my thoughts.
at it. In an era of rematches, I've just seen Callum Smith for an hour on Talksport with his brother Jim Royal, Juggiers Oliver, and Judge Jordan. He didn't once mention Boatsi rematch, but it's an era of rematches. Now, he's been offered the David Morrell fight from Turkey, but he priced himself out with the David Benavidez. But Judge Jordan didn't ask him, Callum, why did you price yourself out of the David Benavidez fight, asking for like mega millions? Why did you do that when you don't bring anything to the table? You've got no title, no world title. You've got a trinket, Annie, but no world title. You don't do tickets, and you're always in fights like this. You're having to go on road. So why did you price yourself out? And yet you're willing to
And it's
and going on what you got against Boatsi. So why price yourself out? Nobody seems to be asking proper questions.
and it and it's such a good question as well. Do you think that they is this pre-agreed that they'll swerve when they go on, that they'll swerve certain things, or is it just the fact that the likes of Simon Jordan pick and choose when they actually will put it on someone and ask the honest questions? I don't fully understand it because it's such a valid question. Why are you swerving a legitimate fight? Or
I
why
don't
did you price
know.
yourself out of it?
I don't know, mate. But Callum Smith, you're very boring. I'm not going to speak about you for the rest of the video. I've just sent you something there actually that IFL have put out this morning. Obviously, they do this after every show on a weekend to test the water. Eddie's Spotty Frank, guy Spotty Frank, will get in touch with them every Monday, Tuesday, and say, put that out and let's see what the feel is from the fans. Have you seen it?
Oh, I wish I hadn't, Porky.
Go and stick it on the
No,
screen, kid.
I will. Let me just get it.
Go on then. It's already started.
Dave
And
Allen,
what did I
Dillian White.
say 2 weeks ago? Whether he wins or not, especially if he loses, he'll get Dylan White. If he wins, he'll get Joshua. If he loses, he'll get Dylan White. People might start believing in the pork now.
You're not often wrong.
There you go.
Oh
I said it, didn't
God.
I beat the drum every day. So if he gets beat, they'll put him in with Dylan White. Two losers fighting for a wooden spoon.
And now they can spin it because he's got a chance against Dillian because he is shot to bits, isn't he? He can win it, and then that's his. He'll come out to redemption song, and then he can spin that as it's just another little launch pad for Dave version 17. Um, Oh God, it'll be a home card jobby for Dave again because Dave Eddie will be annoyed because Dillian went off for the fight for the Tyson money, didn't he? And never really had a contract in place with Matchroom despite fighting for him for ages. So they'll put it in for the win for Dave as well because obviously Dillian's got no resale value now. You couldn't take him to a charity shop and give him away. So that could happen. That could, Porky.
Well, that's where we're at in boxing now, mate, isn't it?
Yeah,
Who'll pay for
recycling.
that? Could you imagine press conference for that? Oh my God.
Oh, Dillian talking about how hard his life was, and blah blah blah.
And
Dave
Rhino
being
doing the
really
same thing.
and Dave will just be sat there being really humble.
Dave
Oh,
might tell his Cleethorpes story how they went on bus as a kid and all his mates were going to Benidorm and he went to Cleethorpes. He could pull that one out on us, couldn't he, again?
he could the poverty of the South Yorkshire man, yeah, but I don't want to hear it. It's boring. Lose your weight, train.
Agree,
Even if
agree. Moses Itoma, call out everybody, every bad man from Philly. I just think he'll end up with Sin Bad from Brookside. What do you think? Because some of the names that they're floating about for him on social media, the guy who beat Mac Midoff, the Italian guy, they're floating him about. I've seen other names that are not very good. I've just seen one for John Coffey, Queensbury, testing John Coffey against Poole, who's 45, but he's got hardware,
he
got a regular belt.
40 back. Yeah, so I think that'll be the Dubois one. For Moses, I think Brunello's um, stock will be high enough for them to wheel him out to get battered, because he's won and his win against um, Mac has aged well now, but Moses is low enough ability for Moses to walk through him as well. I seem to think Sam Jones was managing Vornello up until recently. I don't know if he still is, but yeah, that sounds like two very likely fights. Pretend belt for Dubois off a man as close to 50 as 40, and then Vanello for some name value, relative name value, but low risk for Moses.
Hmm. Okay, we'll finish off on these last two then. I've just seen that Our Talk Sport thing. Juggy is us talking about fight fit and stuff like that. Look, not one of them so-called experts on Talksport. They've got, ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths, the Beatles of boxing. They've got them two there, Juggies and Judge Jordan. Nobody mentioned about Rhino's weight, where everybody were gasping when he got on scale. Oh, he's fight fit though. Nobody mentioned that in this aftermath, and nobody mentioned the 2 points Steve Gray took off, because if that fight had been a little bit, if Rhino would have won two more rounds, it could have been, well, it could have been a different story with them 2 points, and then people would have mentioned it. But nobody's mentioning Steve Gray. What do you think to that?
I think this sport has very short and selective memories, and they won't mention it as well because the win was meant to be in for our Dave, but someone like Spencer Oliver's not going to question it, is he? He's another paid paid talking head, isn't he? Will travel anywhere to talk on a show, and he'll stick to whatever narrative who's ever paying the tune. So not surprising. As for Steve Gray, that's like I say, no one's making any allegations against Steve, but that was very, very poor and very expected in terms of hometown fighter treatment, wasn't it?
Hometown fighter? Come on. How come Horsecock's not mentioning all that copper? Officer Dibble, PC
DC
Gully.
Gully.
He's not mentioning about the 2 points. It's like these 2 points that got took off didn't exist, didn't it?
No, well, with those two, maybe like a Yorkshire Mafia, maybe they're not. Maybe they don't speak. You don't speak ill of the circle. But yeah, Johnny won't mention out because Johnny's trying to get his way into another talking gig as a talking head after 20 years on the Sky T with his channel growing as well. And PC Gully, like I say, show my bias here, but his former employment leaves me to pay no stock to what he says.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you that story about when I had four lads knock on my door, 2 o'clock in the morning, all of them were British titles, title belts in their hands, and they knocked on the
No,
door.
you didn't.
No, this is a true story, yeah. Banging on my door at middle at night, four scousers. We all had a British title in their hand, right? And all holding a bag of chips in their hand. And he says to me, "Do you know who we are?" And I said, "No, I don't know who you are." So I went upstairs and I come back down and I give them all a pair of sunglasses each. And I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths, the Beatles of boxing." It's only a joke. It's one of my, what it's
I know.
just one of my mates sent me it today. But what do you think to that? You like that one?
I do. I think it's very good, and I think it's a very good way to end on as well.
All right, then. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Sean. You've been a real tonic this last few days. We've had a good laugh, haven't we?
I have
Hope we've
laughed a
writ a
lot,
few
and thank you.
wrongs. Hope we've writ a few wrongs.
Me too, and I think we have.
All right, then, mate. You take care. Peace out.
Top man, bye.
Bye. That was Sean from over Scunny, Lincolnshire way. Lovely kid. Women love him. Man want to go gym with him. He trains professional strongmen and bodybuilders and all that. He's been battling cancer, so good luck to him. That's about it, really. That's me done for tonight. I'm gonna watch that. Is it Taboo or something? I'm gonna watch the final episode of that tonight, and then I'm gonna have a flick through Netflix and see what's on. Uh, done all my admin. Listen, when people say to me, "What is the vibe of your channel?" The vibe of my channel is I like to correct knackers that I see in boxing. People spinning narratives. That's what I like to do. Utter BS. I like to put that straight. Now, we don't know if it's Big Freeze's fight against TKV's off, but I've heard a little whisper it is. So we will see, won't we? We will see. All right, but let's hope it isn't. Okie doke. So peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep sporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. The main video that's going to go out tonight, that's obviously going to be a big, big talking point, is the one that's going to premiere at 9 o'clock. So, okie dokie. It just had to be you. Okie dokie. Booyaka. Pop, pop. Peace out.